This is for the girls like me who have had to learn every single thing in regards to relationships the hard way because you were brainwashed and you were spoiled. I'm not saying that, I'm giving my examples. Or you may have had, there may have been some similarity in your experience to how it was for me. I wasn't mistreated until I became a single mom. Well, no, men are, I'm just now learning this, like men are projecting all the time. Men are not going inward at all. They're projecting all the time. So when they come across a woman and she has a beautiful energy, they're going to throw that back at you because they feel that they're matching you. I wish it could be simplified. I mean, it's not like it's that simple, but it's like there's so many things that, like, thank God for my grandmother teaching me stuff, because my mom taught me some fucked up shit about like men needing to be needed and gassing them up and they're filling their ego and like a goddamn nightmare. Anyway, and like dating multiple people and playing the field and just not even advice worth taking. Like, not even advice. Like, some stuff is like, yeah, go out and experience. Like, play the field, go out and experience it. But like, why would you ever want to play games with people? Like, men do that because they're testing. And like, that's the point of this for me is that it's like for women who are like, no, I'm not about the games, but we still get fucked over. Because I didn't have an abusive relationship with my ex, but he just dropped us like a hot potato. And but it's not funny anymore. I mean, I'm trying to like find the humor in it, but it's not funny to me right now. I'm trying to make some food for this kid. So this is the thing for women, and I'm also learning this with my kid because I'm like, I know this child has motivation. He used to be ADHD, and like his focus is one of the things that I think makes it hard for him to not know what he likes. But I'm like, I can't be the fucking emotional labor for you in every single way, and like going out there, we don't have money to just go try 100 things. B, I don't want to have to do that forever. Like, or just, I don't want to do it period anymore. Like, that's just where I am with all of it. But, so I'm like, you have to do your part. And I recognize that like my kid doesn't respect, he loses respect for me when I'm not enforcing strict boundaries with stuff. And it's tricky when you live with someone and or you don't have a super busy life, or just the lack of communication also makes it a little bit tricky with my kid. I don't know all the reasons, but regardless, like I like to have harmony and flow. So I don't like having to be fierce and aggressive all the time. But the thing I realize is it's like this is the point of this is like when you're respected for that power, that's when it shifts as a woman, where it's like you're not just yelling at someone or just having to get aggressive because they're not respecting you. They're not respecting your word or your time or your position, your place. So that's the shift that I've noticed with my kid, and that is still going to be like, we'll see what happens, because he can just be very unpredictable. But at the same, it's kind of been a very like good control, like if you're looking at like a science experiment to have, because it's like my kid doesn't just respect adults like in general. Like it doesn't work that way for him. It's a little bit different. So that's helped me to learn some of this stuff. And then also that's the other part for a woman is it's like, I can understand that a man wouldn't respect a woman if she doesn't set boundaries with him, but you have to be willing to make that man fucking hurt. Now, I don't mean like wounding him and yelling at him and screaming at him, because men can like shut off and not even like take that on. Like that doesn't really hurt them, I don't think. But when you do strategic things like reinforcing your boundaries, not giving them what they want, pulling your energy back. And so then eventually this is how it's been, which I do think is really strange, but like, then they're afraid. I'm just seeing this shift now. And so I'm just giving it as it's coming to me, because I think it's really sad. Honestly, it's sad. Like, it's sad that women have to do this kind of shit, but like, respect is always going to be most important, always. Like, we can't function out here. Don't, you know, I wouldn't wish that on other people to have to go through what that feels like and how powerless you feel. And it's like, maybe there's a time and a place for that, to be powerless for a period of time, but you don't want to live that way. You can't make moves in the world if you don't feel like people have any respect for you. So, or have relationships. And it's like, there's a lot with like the isolation, or if you don't mind spending time by yourself and stuff, but I'm definitely saying it was well from my perspective, my situation of like not building community. Like, it's very disheartening. It's very like painful. But because like when I go out, I don't have like a social anxiety, so I don't know what all of the root is for that, or if that's just like I'm kind of like whimsical or something, and people are just kind of like, I don't know, I don't know what it is. But anyway, I wanted to share that because for the girls like me who just were like out here raw dogging it and like having to learn everything the hard way because your parents were a horrible example and you didn't learn from anybody, and then these guys were just faking it with me, I guess. There were a couple of guys, I'm not saying I didn't ever. I remember specifically there was one dude that I dated, and he got real mad when I wouldn't have sex with him, but we slept together, because I didn't even notice that. I knew that my mom let me do that with my first boyfriend, and then way later, I was like, that was really weird, but I didn't really realize that it was that odd of a behavior until that guy said to me, like, don't do that. Like, you're making me think that this is going to be physical, and you're not, like, that's fucked up. And all of that I really appreciated, because I wasn't aware. And he also told me about like this other dude that I was talking to. He was also really like, he was like, I can't remember if he left me on red, or like I invited him to do something and he was like, no, I don't want to hang out. Cause like it pissed him off. Like he was like, no, like you're not going to hang out and not have sex. Like, I'm not cool with that. But I had so much respect for him for that, even though it was like, he was, you know, I don't know if he wanted anything more serious, because it was like, he was honest, straight up. And this other guy that I was talking to for a while, and I wasn't really interested in like for a relationship. He was like, that guy's twisting everything you're saying. He thinks that you're serious about it. And so it was like, there was only that like one, there may have been somebody else at some point who was like incited some wisdom in me, but mostly not. So, and it's something about the money too, because my ex, that was the only thing with my ex that he was afraid of, it was like when I was like, you're gonna pay for the, like, you know, he wouldn't just come and get my kid when I was in a desperate space. And but when it comes to money, it's like they're not, you know, when you set a firm boundary about that, like, you're not getting my fucking attention and energy unless you're gonna pay. Something about that scares them. So I think one of the things that happens is like, there's like a manipulative element with the feminine energy, knowing that you have a sexual, like, you have that, like, I don't want to call it prowess, but like, it's like you have that, like, because it kind of with OnlyFans, it's a tricky market, because it's like, I'm selling my body and I'm having to figure out how to put a price point on it, but not be demanding and not get aggressive, which I've already been aggressive about it a couple of times. Cause I do think I'm have to stay in charge, but that's that line where it's like, it's not fair to just, men are just gonna be back out, or just gonna be stubborn and put their foot down if they don't want to pay it. So I do feel like putting a finality, putting a number down, or being like, I'm not willing to do whatever if you're not gonna pay, is fair, because it's like, that's the price to access my energy. And I hope other people aren't in a fucked up situation like I am, where you're like, I don't have options where I can just be like, I just have all these places to get money from. But regardless, it's like that helps me to keep my self-respect up and not just be available for like whatever. I'm not available for the fuckery. I'm not available to just give you my attention. And I don't know why it has to be fear for men, because it's like, whatever. Maybe when maybe when you are with someone and they get comfortable with you and they know that you're not just trying to like, that must be something where they feel like they've been used by women or something. And so, but men, something, they tie their identity to their money. And that's why I'm like, no, I'm not just going to keep showing up for free. Like, if you don't like who you are when you're around me, when you don't have money, then go get money. Like, then do your thing and I'm going to do mine. Like, you know, like that's how it feels. All right.